Here are 10 surprisingly expensive LEGO Castle minifigures. Let's talk about it. One day I got curious and thought to myself, what are the most surprisingly expensive LEGO Castle minifigures? Now, before we get into this list, I made a few criteria that we had to follow. First, the minifigures had to come in a set and be widely available. My reasoning for this is because everyone knows about figures like the Raven Knight and other CMF minifigures, so to find more unique figures, I made this rule. Second, when doing research, I found that most of the top 10 would be original castle figures, so to keep this list more unique, I grouped together certain figures. Third, no big figs will be on the list. This just cuts out the big trolls from the fantasy era. And the last rule isn't really a rule, it's just a reminder to just keep in mind these minifigures are the ones that surprised me at how expensive they were, not necessarily the top 10 most expensive. Finally, I made this list using Brick Ranker. It's a cool website that I found that just takes the average sale price for each minifigure over the past 6 months. And well, with that out of the way, let's dive into the list. Starting off the list at number 10 is the Fantasy Era Young Peasant Male, with an average sale price of $28.47. This minifigure appeared in one set, the Medieval Market Village, which retailed for $99.99 back in 2008. Now, seeing the price for this set might make you think this minifigure wasn't widely available and that I'm already breaking my rules. But if you slowed down and took a closer look, this set was on shelves for over 4 years, meaning plenty of people got a chance to buy this set. Not me, unfortunately. This particular minifigure is exclusive to the set. The torso print used is seen in a slightly different color on other figures, but with this color, it is exclusive to this figure. And it is worth noting that LEGO Castle Peasants are surprisingly expensive. Coming in at the 9 spot, we have the Kingdom's Dragon Knight armor with chain, helmet closed, and bared teeth. This minifigure appeared in a battle pack and currently sells for an average of $27.04. The battle pack it appeared in was the Battle Pack Dragon Knights that was on shelves from June 2010 to December of 2010. And retailed for $14.99. That would be awesome these days. This minifigure has plenty of printing on both the torso and legs, and its body armor has an awesome printing of 2 dragon heads and only appeared in 3 sets. The number 8 spot on this list is our first of 3 groupings, this grouping being 2 different Dragon Knights. These 2 Dragon Knights are both Dragon Masters with Dragon Cape, with the only difference being one having blue plumes and the other having yellow plumes. These 2 figures come in at an average of $27.26, both only appearing in one set. They are very sought after for their helmets, torsos, and unique capes, although I think nostalgia definitely factors into the price here. The 7 spot we have 3 kings, the Kingdom's Lion King, the Fantasy Era Crown King with cape, and the Knights Kingdom 2 King Matthias with light bluish gray cape. I decided to group the kings together because they all average around $27.50 to $28.50 on sites like Bricklink. The only exclusive of these 3 is King Matthias, who only comes in a chest set. Just like that, we are on to number 6, and that is the Falcon Knight, with an average price of $32.16. This particular minifigure appeared in the Kingdom's Joust set, and this figure excited a lot of fans as many thought that its shield hinted at a return of the Black Falcons in the days of old LEGO Castle. This is one of my favorite figures on this list, and that black and silver color scheme just works so great to contrast all the red in that Kingdom's Joust set. Now, before we get into the top 5, if you're enjoying the video, don't forget to like and subscribe as we're trying to hit 500 subscribers before the end of February. Starting off today's top 5 is our second peasant on the list, and that being the Kingdom's Peasant Maiden, which comes in at an average sale price of $32.46. This figure came in the Mill Village raid in 2011, and is another example of the market for castle peasants being so limited. After the Kingdoms line that this minifigure is a part of, we didn't get many noteworthy peasant figures until the LEGO Ideas Blacksmith in 2021. That is 10 years without any significant peasant minifigures, which made the market for not only this peasant but others so expensive. And at number 4 on today's list is the Fantasy Era Troll King with the metallic copper crown. This comes in at an average price of $50.05. Although I did see on Bricklink at the time of this recording at least, the lowest price for a new one is over $58. What surprised me about this particular figure is that it is the exact same as the other version, both appearing in the same set, and I was unable to figure out why there were two versions of this figure, but the only difference is one came with a reddish brown crown and this one came with a metallic copper crown that adds over $18 to the price. That's wild, and that is why this one comes in at number 4. At number 3, we have the Fantasy Era Golden Knight with an average price of $104.57. This means we broke the $100 mark. And yes, if you look on the BrickRanker website, you can see that I skipped a lot. But keep in mind, this list is the minifigures that I find surprisingly most expensive, not necessarily the most expensive overall. With that being said, this one was surprising for me, even though it only came in one set, being the Drawbridge Defense, is because that set retailed for $39.99 and was on shelves for over a year. That set is reasonably priced, so it is surprising to see this figure high on the list. The main reason for this price, in my opinion, is the exclusive torso, legs, and armor piece. Oh, and that chrome gold sword it comes with is hard to keep in great condition, especially 17 years later. Quick challenge for you guys. This is actually one of 3 minifigures I own on this list. If you can guess the other 2, leave the 3 you think I own in the comments down below, and the first to get it right will get the pinned comment. At the number 2 spot, we have the Dark Forestmen. I grouped these together because they would have had 4 in the top 10 alone. Before doing any research, I had no idea these figures were so pricey. The Dark Forest theme had 3 sets and 11 minifigures, 5 of which are in the top 14 on this list. These figures go for, on average, anywhere from $72 to $131. That's crazy. When I went to find out what made these so expensive, I saw that their Fortress sells for over $1,200. That's an easy way to drive up minifigure prices. And finally, at the number 1 spot, averaging an astonishing $146.91 per sale in the past 6 months, is the Forestwoman Original with Quiver. This figure only appeared in the Forestman's Crossing, with the figure's only unique item being its torso. And from what I saw on Bricklink making this video, it is very hard to find this torso without any cracks or dings in 2025, which is almost 35 years after this minifigure was originally released in 1990. And that is the top 10 list. Now, remember, these are just the ones that surprised me the most. If you head over to brickranker.com, which I'll link in the description, you can check out the full list and see some of the ones that I left off. With that being said, remember to comment which 3 you think I own. And I just want to thank you guys for making it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe to stick around. We're trying to hit 500 subscribers by the end of February. With all that out of the way, this has been Bronze Bricks. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.